What is typology in biblical interpretation? Have you ever wondered how certain events in the Old Testament relate to the New Testament? This is where typology comes into play. Typology in biblical interpretation is a method that identifies how people, events, institutions, or actions in the Old Testament serve as types. These types prefigure or foreshadow greater realities fulfilled in the New Testament, which we call antitypes. For instance, think about the Exodus in the Old Testament. This event can be seen as a type that points forward to the greater fulfillment found in Jesus Christ and the New Covenant. Similarly, figures like King David or institutions like the temple serve as types that connect to their antitypes in the New Testament. One key feature of typology is that the type in the Old Testament has significant similarities to its antitype in the New Testament. This shows a divinely intended connection between the two. The antitype is often greater or more complete than the type it fulfills. This reveals how God's redemptive plan unfolds throughout Scripture. It is important to note that typology is not just about allegory or symbolic interpretation. It is grounded in real historical persons and events that God used to prepare for Christ and the New Testament revelation. For example, Jonah's 3 days in the belly of the fish prefigures Jesus' 3 days in the tomb. Similarly, Melchizedek's offering of bread and wine points to Jesus' institution of the Lord's Supper. Understanding typology helps readers see the unity and continuity of Scripture. It shows how the Old Testament anticipates and is fulfilled in the New Testament. This perspective encourages us to view Scripture as a cohesive story of salvation history, where earlier events and figures are linked to later ones in God's unfolding plan. From a practical standpoint, recognizing typology deepens our grasp of both testaments. It reveals the richness of God's design and the centrality of Christ throughout Scripture. Typology also aids in interpreting difficult passages by connecting them to their fuller meaning revealed in the New Testament. In essence, typology is a vital interpretive tool that connects the literal historical events of the Old Testament with their greater fulfillment in the New Testament, particularly in Jesus Christ. This connection enriches our study and application of biblical texts today, making Scripture come alive in new and meaningful ways.